And you know what? I'm actually glad that I got religion involved in all this, because it really opened my eyes to what religion is, and it's literally just a business. So prior to all this, I'd been super involved with the church. I went to tiny little Christian schools. When we moved to Virginia, I was working at a dance studio, and a family came in one day, and I was chit-chatting with the husband, and I said, what do you do for a living? And he's like, oh, I'm the pastor at this like new church that we're trying to bring to Virginia. And I'm like, oh, what's the denomination? He's like, oh, you've never heard of it. We only operate out of Ohio and California. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm from California. What is it? And he tells me, and I'm like, no way. That's the tiny little Christian school I went to. And we saw that as a sign of God. So we became super involved in the church. Like I said, I became the children's director. So then when we had this issue, this was the first issue that we had really had. First I started praying, and I prayed to God to tell me what I was supposed to do. I didn't hear anything. I started praying for God to open up my husband's eyes, to open up my eyes, to give us direction. And I never heard anything out of God after that. Like literally never since then. And so I went to my pastor and I explained the situation and was like, hey, I need you to talk sense into my husband. This is what's going on. And then I said, on top of that, like, I'm no longer hearing anything from God. Like, what's wrong? And he's like, ooh, you know, this is kind of out of my wheelhouse. I'm going to have to refer you to talk to my wife, because I don't really do this type of stuff. So I went to his wife and tried to explain the situation to his wife. And she's like, why are you talking to me? Like, my husband's a pastor. You should be talking to him. And I said, well, because he referred me to you. And she's like, okay, I'll talk to him and figure out what's going on. So then she comes back to me and she's like, yeah, we've decided that we're not going to get involved in this, because we're actually friends with both of you guys. So I didn't go to church that week. They didn't want to have anything to do with marriage counseling or trying to talk sense into my husband or anything like that. So I didn't go to church that week because I was just inconsolable. So then the next weekend, on Saturday, the day before service, they asked if I could just drop off all of my binders, because like I said, I was in charge of the children's ministry. So they needed all of like my binders and books that I had. And they said, can you just drop it off and leave it on our doorstep? They didn't even want to see me. So pretty much they were firing me like in a very like passive aggressive kind of way. Then I found out the week after that, one of the people from the church did reach out to me. And they were like, you know, oh my gosh, how are you doing? We haven't seen you in a while, but we understand that it could be kind of weird for you to come to church when your husband is bringing his new girlfriend. And I'm like, what? Like, that's how manipulative, like, all this stuff became so quick. It was like 3 weeks after he told me he wanted the divorce, he was bringing his new girlfriend to, or some girl, I don't even know who it was, because I think at that point the homewrecker girl had broken up with him, but he was bringing some girl with him to church. Like, seriously, no shame.